Welcome back to Reddit Guy. Here's today's Reddit story.
Story 1. How do I start a relationship with my nieces and nephew when their father was responsible for my brother's passing? Original post. One of my employees mentioned that this might be a good place to get some advice for my current dilemma. I am a 46-year-old man and I am one of 4 siblings. There is my older brother P, who is 48, I think, and who I no longer have any contact with. My younger brother J, who is no longer with us, and my youngest sister K, who is 44. Recently, P's children, 2 girls and 1 boy, all in their late teens and early 20s, reached out to me and expressed a desire to have a relationship. I currently have 0 contact with their father, and I have sworn that I would beat him black and blue if I ever saw him again. A little background. My oldest brother, P, was always the golden child. No matter what he did, my parents always had an excuse for why it was not his fault. If he got a bad grade, the teacher had it out for him. If he cheated on every single one of his relationships, my parents would say, "Good thing you did it to her before she did it to you." That one was my personal favorite. He also used to constantly torment Jay and me when we were smaller than him. That continued until high school when I hit a growth spurt and grew to about 6'4" and 230 pounds of muscle. After that, I became the typical jock type. I played football, partied, and had a lot of friends. My younger brother Jay did not get as lucky. He stayed pretty small and scrawny throughout high school and college, only reaching about 5'8", and he did not have a very active social life. Despite the differences in our school experiences, I was always very protective of Jay, especially because we were constantly dealing with P's nonsense. That stopped once P realized I could easily pound him into the ground without breaking a sweat. He was also much smaller than me, standing around 5'10". There's not much to say about K. She was a great younger sister, and P did not dare mess with her, or he would incur the wrath of our mother. In the late 1990s, Jay met his first real girlfriend, A, and he was absolutely over the moon about her. He spent every spare moment with her, and when he wasn't with her, he would do nothing but gush about her. I had never seen him so happy. One day, he came to us smiling and announced that A was pregnant and that they were expecting a baby. However, the mood quickly changed when, about a week later, it came out that A had been cheating on Jay for the entire duration of their relationship with our older brother, P. This completely broke my brother. Of course, P, being the golden child that he was, did not even receive a disappointed glance from our parents. To this day, I have never seen someone look as broken as Jay did the last time I saw him. I believe his heartbreak was only made worse by the fact that my parents essentially told him to get over it and be happy for our brother. About a week after this came to light, Jay took his own life. I had never been so sad and angry at the same time in my entire life. I was devastated that I would never see my brother again and filled with rage knowing that this was my brother's and my parents' fault. During the funeral, P showed up with A and I saw red. Thankfully, I had other family members there to stop me from doing anything stupid, but I told P that if I ever saw him again, I would kill him. Shortly after that, I cut contact with about 90% of my family. The only exceptions were K and a cousin I had always been close with. Everyone else wanted to make excuses for my parents and for P. Fast forward to the present. I never had any kids, and truthfully, I never wanted any. I much prefer the role of the fun uncle. Kay met a great guy and had 2 daughters who I absolutely adore. P had 2 more children with A before cheating on her, which was not surprising, and the 2 of them split. I have never met any of their kids. My parents have tried to make contact with me a handful of times, but I always told them to kick rocks. Last week, I was chatting with Kay's daughters, who are 19 and 17, and they mentioned that their cousins have wanted to meet me for a long time and were hoping I would be willing to meet them as well. I do not believe they know everything that transpired between their father and me, but I would be lying if I never had any desire to meet them. So everyone, I'm hoping to crowdsource some ideas or suggestions on how I can begin and maintain a relationship with P's children while also keeping him and A completely out of my life. Any suggestions are welcome. Edit. One commenter brought up a good point that slightly changes my question. The reason I wanted to meet them soon is because they are all back in town at the same time due to college closures related to COVID. However, someone suggested that meeting them one at a time once they return to their college campuses or previous living arrangements might be a better option. Thoughts? Edit 2. I've had multiple people ask why Kay still talks to the people I cut contact with, so I'll copy and paste one of my replies. Even though my sister was just as crushed by Jay's death as I was and angry for a long time, she and her then boyfriend, now husband, hit a financial rough patch after graduating college and were forced to move in with our parents. Due to unrelated drama at the time, they couldn't stay with me, so my sister lived with our parents for several years, and over time their relationship improved. Even though I wasn't thrilled, I understood. She still doesn't really have a relationship with P, but she remains cordial if they meet. I don't blame her because our parents did a lot for her, her daughters love their cousins, and I didn't want to put her in a position where she had to choose. Comments. Commenter 1. Have you already asked Kay's daughters if their cousins know the truth? Since this is very important to you, maybe Kay's daughters could help you figure it out as they seem to have a good relationship with them. Original poster's reply. They told me they haven't mentioned anything to them, but they said it's clear that they are at least vaguely aware. They know we're estranged because of our brother's death, but they don't know the details. Commenter 2. Make it a requirement that they be told the truth about their parents before you have any relationship with them. Commenter 3. Tell P's kids the truth, so they're at least reaching out from an informed position. They must not know everything.
Story 2. My brother admitted to a prank that drastically changed my life 7 years ago. Original post. 7 years ago, when I was 17 years old and preparing for college, I was actively searching for scholarships. I applied to a scholarship run by a local family using money donated by a man in that family who was very wealthy. Eventually, they announced that a girl from our town had won the scholarship, and I thought nothing of it. Fast forward to now, my brother, who is 27, is currently in Alcoholics Anonymous and is in the process of making amends. During this process, he admitted something to me. He told me that I had actually won that scholarship. He explained that one of his old teachers was on the scholarship board. She saw him at a store and casually brought it up, assuming that we already knew. At that point, the letter had not yet arrived in the mail, but after that conversation, he knew I had won. When the letter eventually arrived, he took it. He said he was angry at me at the time, although now he could not even remember why. He told me that he responded to the letter thanking them, but claiming that I had received a full-ride scholarship to the college of my choice and no longer needed the funding. He gave them his own cell phone number and told them they could call with any questions. According to him, they did call, and he convinced them that I did not need the scholarship and that they should give it to someone else. So they did. He admits that it was a terrible thing to do, but he does not seem to think it was that big of a deal. He does not even see the value of the money lost because I still managed to go to college. What he fails to acknowledge is that the difference was that I ended up $40,000 in debt from student loans. I still owe $35,000 and the interest continues to accumulate. That scholarship would have paid out a total of $45,000 over the course of my college education as long as I maintained the required grades. His so-called prank cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I understand that he is an Alcoholics Anonymous and that the goal is to make amends and repair relationships, but honestly, this makes me never want to see him again. I spent college incredibly stressed about money, and this could have solved so much of that stress, and he did it over something he cannot even remember now. So where do I go from here? Am I supposed to let this go? I'm sorry if this comes across as a rant. I don't really know what I'm asking other than for general advice on how this should affect my relationship with him. Right now, I feel like I want no relationship with him at all, but I know I might regret that years down the road. Comments. Commenter 1. What he did was awful, but what stands out to me is that he doesn't seem to care how it affected you, nor can he even remember what supposedly provoked him. At the very least, your brother owes you a real apology, one that fully acknowledges how his actions seriously affected you and your future. Commenter 2. Yeah, he has completely missed the point of this step in Alcoholics Anonymous. He is supposed to be seeing, through sober eyes, the effects of his addiction on the people in his life. The hope is that this understanding will help him become a better person through empathy. I do not see that happening here. Commenter 3. This exactly. I have met many people who think that simply saying the words, "I'm sorry," is supposed to fix everything. Without further amends being made, an apology must clearly show that the person understands the full extent of their actions and is genuinely remorseful. And even then, amends should still be made.
Story tree. Am I the asshole for refusing to make any more meals for my girlfriend after she kept complaining about my cooking? Original post. Things have been great with my girlfriend for the most part. We are a 28-year-old female and a 26-year-old male. We have been together for 4 years and living together for 2. Lately, there has been some tension, so I feel like maybe that is why things may have boiled over. We both work a lot, so we have both been very cranky and moody, especially my girlfriend, who has snapped at me a few times and has been in a really bad mood. For the past few days, what has really set her off is my cooking. I am usually the one making breakfast, packing our lunches, and making dinner. Literally any time I have been at the stove, she complains about how bad the smell is and gives me crap about using stuff that has obviously gone bad, according to her, or she will say it tastes like shit and will not even finish eating. This has pissed me off. I am not a chef, but I do pride myself in my cooking, and she is talking about how bad my food is. I've had my coworkers try my lunch, and they tell me it tastes just fine. I figured with all the stress she's under at work, she probably needed an outlet to let out her frustration, and maybe that is why she's giving me shit about simple things. I do not know. But I snapped a little this morning when, again, she complained about the omelet I was making for us. So I actually dumped the eggs in the trash, told her she can make her own damn breakfast for herself, and that I'm not cooking for her anymore if she's going to keep acting spoiled about what I make. We ended up having an argument over this, and we left for work mad. Anyways, my girlfriend did not come home, and her sister called me. My girlfriend is mad at me, and her sister thought I was being a dick for reacting so immaturely by refusing to cook for her anymore when I know she works a lot, so sometimes she doesn't have the time to prep her own meals. I do not know why this was turned into a bigger deal, but here I am sitting at home, wondering if I was being an asshole for losing my cool and telling her I'm not cooking for her. I just didn't think it is fair for her to be talking shit about my cooking when she never has before, and I thought, well, if she doesn't like it, then she can take over the kitchen. Was I an asshole? Commenter 1. She complains about how bad the smell is and gives me crap about using stuff that has obviously gone bad, according to her, or saying it tastes like shit and will not even finish eating. Are you sure she's not pregnant? OP's reply. I did not think about that, honestly. Commenter 2. Tell her to pee on a stick. When I was in early pregnancy, I hated the smell of bacon. It made me want to vomit. Pregnancy explains the smells and the mood. Get her a stick and give us an update. OP's reply. Wow, okay, that actually makes sense thinking about it. I don't know for sure though, but I'm going to have to talk to her. That is so crazy. I honestly had no clue about the smell thing. Commenter 3. Yep, I'm currently pregnant and 11 weeks. All the foods I once loved, I cannot stand the taste or smell of right now. My poor fiance has had to cook the majority of the meals we eat because I cannot stand the smell when I'm cooking, and I cannot eat most of what he cooks either as it makes me sick, so most of it ends up in the bin. This has been going on since I was around 5 weeks pregnant. OP's reply. Shit, I really need to call her before I get myself too excited over nothing, lol. Thanks for this info. Feeling kind of stupid for not knowing it. I know people have said it could also be COVID or some other medical issue. I seriously doubt I'm using anything expired since we always check for that stuff, and I haven't changed anything in my cooking. This is the first time she's ever complained about anything I make. Update. Well, shit, this is way too many responses for me. Most of it pointing out some obvious shit that didn't even hit me until you all mentioned it. It was super late when I posted this, and I was going to wait until morning to talk to her. I had a missed call from my girlfriend, so I called her back.
Totally different tune this time. My girlfriend was really apologetic about the way she was acting and didn't realize how much of a bitch she was being. Her words, not mine, I swear, until she talked more with her sister. Apparently, her sister did not have the full details of the fight. My girlfriend was just extremely upset, and while she told her what we fought about, I guess the state my girlfriend was in at the moment made her think the fight was a lot bigger than it actually was, hence her reaction. She didn't know this was going on for days until they talked about it last night. Even her sister was like, "Seriously?" Yeah, that helped her see how shitty she was being towards me. Her sister also apologized to me, by the way. I said my piece to her. It was not cool being used as her punching bag, and I do not deserve that kind of disrespect from her, especially when I'm here cooking meals for both of us. My girlfriend was really understanding of that, and we both agreed to talk shit out instead of letting it all boil up to the point where we're both snapping at each other. Okay, so getting back to what everyone has been wanting to hear. My girlfriend got home and I decided to bring up her issues with the smell thing, praying to God she wouldn't rip my head off for implying she was only mad because of hormones. Her reaction was priceless though, because she clearly didn't think about that either. So, yep, we took a quick trip to CVS and got a couple of tests just to be sure. We came home and, yep, they're positive. Holy fuck, I can't believe you guys were right about that. I'm feeling like a bit of a dumbass for not knowing it, lol. But anyways, yeah, we're pregnant and freaked out and super excited. My girl for sure cried, and okay, me too a little bit. She's calling her doctor to make an appointment just to be sure. But yeah, for right now, it looks like we've got a little squish on the way, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's too crazy. I know lots of you keep asking, so there's your update. This has been a fucking roller coaster. Edit. Sent my girlfriend my post. She thanks everyone for pointing out the obvious and about how bad her behavior was towards me. Anyways, she says you all are invited to the baby shower, lol. Final comment. Congrats, OP, on the pregnancy.
And that's where this story ends. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching Reddit Guy.